We don't have to unless you want to.
Little ditty.
I mean, it feels like the proper beginning of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Little ditty. About to play it for podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still posting this as an episode of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
This is the Player 4 Podcast. Join us each week as we talk about video games, entertainment, and pop culture, and bring in guests from the Rooster Teeth community. Player 4 has entered the game.
Hello and welcome to the Player 4 Podcast. I'm your host, Tristan A.K. Shagrazir.
And I'm also your host, Alex, aka Chaos Black 21.
And I'm the special guest. I'm making tacos, and my name's Joseph.
Make me some tacos, Joseph.
I will post
Sorry.
pictures when I'm done.
That is not the same. RPG books. 5th edition. Player's Handbook from 3.5. Hello.
Hello.
Anyone with link can view. Copy link.
So what are we doing today, Tristan?
We are going to help Alex make a character for your proposed D&D sort of game in a world you call Valenaria. Alex has told us that he wishes to play a druid. So we are going to make a druid using the 3.5 rules.
Sounds like a fascinating podcast.
I think so. Alright, I have posted a link to the PDF in the Valenaria channel. Alex.
Oh gosh.
And actually, I should have... In here, under roleplay, under D&D, character sheet templates, let's see, 4E writable, 5th edition, alternative, what's this? Why is this not marked for what edition it's for? Oh my god, I can't tell at all. I have no idea what edition this is supposed to be for. There's nothing on it. Okay, so that's an additional page. What is this one? This is 5th edition. Okay, so all of my fillable sheets, it looks like Tyranny of Dragons. Yeah, it looks like all of the character fillable sheets I have right now are 5th edition. Which is unfortunate. I thought I had... Oh, wait! Ah-ha-ha! I lied! For some reason, my 3.5 ones were not in the folder with the other ones. Okay, cool. So... boom. That's not how you spell that. Alright, so, sorry about this. I was trying to get... I wanted to have him have all the materials before I started, but it was insisted that I began now. Alright, so, I have provided you, Alex, with a link to the 3.5 handbook, and a link, and a download for the PDF that you can use to fill out character details.
Okay.
So the first thing you'll want is a place to take down numbers that's easily manipulable about where those numbers are. So I recommend just a scrap of paper and a pencil, or if you've got some kind of tab to write in, to type things down in, something like that, because first we'll want to get your base stats.
Okay. Ugh. I have parchment.
Alright, cool. So, there are two ways in which you can get your base stats. The standard way in D&D 3.5 is to roll them using dice, and the other way, which is generally preferable by me, due to balance and such, is the point-buy system, for which Joseph has come up with a point-buy exchange rate system that is very slightly different from the 4th edition system.
I am looking at the point buy system.
Okay.
28 points.
Right. You start with 28 points. Each of the values below that tells you what the score will be for the cost that you spend on it. So, for example, if you want a 16 in a stat, you spend 10 points.
The real question is, what should I put 16 points into?
Well, I mean, you can determine it that way, or you can do what a lot of people do, which is determine what all 6 of the stats are to give you the best layout of numbers that you can think of, and then distribute them after that. But, to answer the question, as a druid, you will be casting spells with wisdom. So it says here on page 34 of the handbook, abilities. Wisdom determines how powerful a spell a druid can cast, how many spells she can cast per day, and how hard those spells are to resist. To cast a spell, a druid must have a wisdom score of 10 plus the spell's level, meaning that your wisdom score, must be at least 19 if you want to cast 9th level spells, but you don't get to do that till later anyway. At first level, you will have automatically 1 first level spell and 3 0 level spells.
I'm a little mad. There's no race that increases your wisdom.
It's true. The races in the player's handbook are human, dwarf, elf, gnome, half-elf, half-orc, and halfling. And none of those give a positive bonus to wisdom. So, either human, so that you suffer no penalties, or think about a secondary trait like high constitution being useful for survivability, or high strength being good for melee attacks.
I think I will go with a... I'm going to go with a human and just go with no
That's fine.
disadvantages.
Be aware that humans do come with a bunch of other benefits for choosing them. So, if we look over on page 13, in the very bottom corner, you can see the human racial traits. Lets you know that you're a medium creature, lets you know that you have a speed of 30. But here's where it gets good. You get 1 extra feat at first level. All characters get a first level feat, humans get 2. You get 4 extra skill points at first level, and 1 extra skill point at every level after that. So you basically get 1 extra fully trained skill as a human. You have an automatic language of common, so that's kind of a drawback. You only have 1 automatic language. Bonus languages are determined by your intelligence modifier. You get to choose a number of bonus languages up to your intelligence modifier. So if you have an intelligence score of 12, you have a modifier plus 1. You get to choose 1 bonus language. If your intelligence is 10, then you get no bonus languages.
And then... let's see, something about multi-class.
So as a human, you have your favored class as any, so that means that normally you suffer an experience point penalty for multi-classing in certain ways, and one of the determining factors is what your favored class is and whether or not you're putting points into it or not. And this is basically saying that humans don't have to worry about the favorite class thing for multi-classing. They still have to worry about level limits and things, like they have to be within 1 of each other and stuff like that. But other than that, they don't have to worry. Whereas other races need to choose a favorite class. except for the half-elf, who are human enough to be any. But not the half-orc, interestingly.
Okay, so I've got human.
Okay. So you're human, which means you get no ability score bonuses, but we still need to find out what your ability scores are. So using those 28 points, you need to generate 6 stats. And remember that the starting number is 8. So if you are able to buy 4 stats and you run out of points after buying 4 numbers, the last 2 are 8s automatically.
Okay. Let's see. Well, as a druid, I don't think I'm going to want strength very high.
Well, so here's one of the things where coming from 5th edition is going to mean there's a learning curve, and that's
great.
that if you're not casting a spell, your only way of attacking is with weapons, and you attack with all melee weapons with strength, regardless of your class. So, my rogue has 12 strength so that I don't have a negative to attacking with melee weapons.
Okay. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, so there's a lot of interdependencies here. So for one thing, needing strength in order to make melee attacks, and needing strength for pretty much any damage roll is part of the game. So everybody kind of needs at least... you want your strength to not be negative, because it impacts a lot of other things. Constitution is good to have not negative, because that impacts your hit points, as well as your saving throw for for fortitude. That is based on your constitution. Dexterity is important for a lot of skills, but that just depends on how skill intensive you intend to be. Intelligence is where you get your skill points from. The number of skill points you gain at every level is based on your intelligence modifier. So if you have a negative modifier, you're reducing the number of skill points you get every level to level up skills with. And then wisdom is used for those most basic and imperative of checks, like spot and listen, which is perception in 5th edition. And then charisma is kind of up to you if you want to be a charismatic person or not.
That will be the one I have the least.
Alright, so for druid, it's telling me that wisdom is very important because you're a spellcaster. These are cleric stuff I'm trying to find. Let's see. So, druids cast divine spells much the same way clerics do, though most get their spells from the power of nature rather than from gods. Their spells are oriented toward nature and animals. In addition to spells, druids gain an increasing array of magical powers, including the ability to take the shape of animals as they advance in level. The armor of a druid is restricted by traditional oaths to the items noted in weapon and armor proficiency below. All other armor is prohibited. Although a druid could learn to wear full plate, putting it on would violate her oath and suppress her druidic powers. Basically, if you use metal weapons or armor, you have gone against nature and you lose your spells.
No metal.
No metal. Druids
Wood and leather.
Yep. Druids avoid carrying much worked metal with them because it interferes with the pure and primal nature they attempt to embody. Druids revere nature above all else. She gains her magical powers either from the force of nature itself or from a nature deity. Typical druid pursues a mystic spirituality of transcendent union with nature rather than devoting herself to a divine entity. Still, some druids revere at least respect either Obed-Hai, the god of nature, or Alona, the goddess of the woodlands. Alona is a good one just because I know her better than Obed-Hai. Though their organization is invisible to most outsiders who consider druids to be loners, Druids are actually part of a society that spans the land, ignoring political borders. A prospective druid is inducted into this society through secret rituals involving tests that not all survive. Only after achieving some level of competence is the druid allowed to strike out on her own. All druids are nominally members of the druidic society, though some individuals are so isolated that they have never seen any high-ranking members of the society or participated in druidic gatherings. All druids recognize each other as brothers and sisters. Like true creatures of the wilderness, however, druids sometimes compete with or even prey on each other. So, just be aware that, there's a druidic order to the world. You are technically part of it, whether you accept it or not. If you meet other druids, they are treated as brethren. A druid may be expected to perform services for higher-ranking druids, though proper payment is tendered for such assignments. Likewise, a lower-ranking druid may appeal for aid from higher-ranking comrades in exchange for a fair price in coin or service. Druids may live in small towns, but they always spend a good portion of their time in the wild. Even large cities surrounded by cultivated land as far as the eye can see often have druid groves nearby. Small wild refuges where druids live and which they protect fiercely. Near coastal cities, such refuges may be nearby islands where the druids can find isolation that they need. As for your role, the druid enjoys extraordinary versatility. Though she lacks the sheer healing powers of the cleric, she makes up for it with additional offensive power thanks to her spell selection and wild shape ability. A druid backed up by another secondary healer, such as a paladin, can prove extremely valuable to a group of adventurers. Her animal companion also provides valuable melee combat support. So, Wisdom. Druid get bonus spells based on Wisdom, so Wisdom should be very high. And that's all it really says. Wisdom. So that's your spell casting. It determines how many spells you get, and it determines how strong the spells are. So Wisdom, you want very high, and then the rest you need to think about survivability and your ability to attack. So Strength, Dex, and Con are important things to think about, and think about having positive numbers inside of. And then Int is always a good one to think about putting at least a non-negative number in, because that controls how many skill points you get.
Okay. And the negative is 8 and 9, right?
8 and 9, and anything lower than 8, because, say you were a race that had a negative, and you put your 8 there, it would drop to 6.
Mm-hmm.
But you're human, so yes, 8 and 9 are both negative for you.
Okay.
10 is 0.
Alright. Let's see. I'm going to put them in order of what I deem most important to least important. So I would say Wisdom, Constitution, Dexterity, Strength, Intelligence, and Charisma.
Okay. Oh yeah, and because you're limited on armor, you're really only going to be able to do light armors, I believe. Let's see here. Weapon and armor proficiency. You are proficient with the following weapons: club, dagger, dart, quarterstaff, scimitar, sickle, short spear, sling, and spear. They are also proficient with all natural attacks, claw, bite, and so forth, and any form they assume with wild shape. Druids are proficient with light and medium armor, but are prohibited from wearing metal armor. So you could wear medium armor. Let's take a quick peek here at Chapter 7 for equipment. And look at armor, which is here. So, under medium armor, that gives you access to hide. And that's it. Everything else is metal.
Man, lots of choices.
Well, so under light armor, you could use padded leather or possibly studded, although possibly not. Because studded means it has metal studs.
Mm-hmm.
So hide gives you a +3 armor bonus with a max dex of +4, so that would meet with what you're currently capable of, but it does impose a check penalty of -3, and it gives you 20% spell failure. No, that's arcane spells. You're using divine spells, so that doesn't matter.
Suck it!
Yep. You're not an arcane caster, so spell failure doesn't matter.
Okay.
Arcane casters need the magic essences to be able to flow, so they gotta wear dresses. Light clothing.
Wear your frilly dresses.
I mean, they're happy in them, except for that whole not being armored thing. Yeah, even padded armor, the lightest armor you can buy that has a +1 bonus, is a 5% arcane spell failure chance. God, can't talk. So, yeah, I mean, hide's not a bad option, but the -3 check penalty is steep. However, especially if you make your not super high, then you're probably not worrying about skill points much anyway. I am a rogue, which is a skill monkey, so I just need skills. All the skills give me more skill points.
All the skills.
I took a 14 in my intelligence so that I could get more skill points. I started with 40 of them. You, as a druid, get 4 plus your intelligence modifier times 4 skill points. Skills. Yes, the mage casts shield. They don't wear a shield. I misinterpreted, Derek. Yeah, remember that for swimming especially, the armor penalty, I'm talking to Derek just so you know, the armor penalty is doubled. So if you have an armor check penalty of -4, it's -8, specifically for the swim skill. Hope you enjoyed drowning.
Mm-mm.
Because that's what's going to happen.
Not the drowning. Okay, I think... Let me count them out. Let's see, 8, 14, 19... Okay. I think I have my stuff. Well, I could change some stuff because I have some stuff at 13 that I could probably bring down to 12 since it's going to stay the same.
I mean, so the ability scores are much more dynamic in 3.5 than they are in 5th edition. They're very static in 5th edition. So if you have 1, 2, or even 3 odd numbers, it's kind of okay, because you're going to get the ability to up them, but having fewer is generally better, just because it's easier to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And more immediately rewarding. If you can lower an odd number to raise a different odd number, it always just feels better. I had no odd numbers in my final build.
Okay. I think I got it. 10, 16, 24, 28. Okay. So I have my charisma at 8. It didn't get anything. My intelligence is at 12.
Okay.
Strength is at 12.
Alright, that sounds acceptable.
Dexterity is at 12.
Oh. This is a lot of 12s.
Constitution's at 14.
Okay.
And then wisdom's at 16.
Okay. I was like, that's a lot of 12s. That is so many 12s.
I had dexterity and strength at 13 each,
Yeah.
and I was like, but I could drop them to 12, stay the same, and boost my wisdom up 1 more to make it even.
You have to make it also 12. Alright, I mean, it works. It's very balanced. Yeah. Go with that.
Joseph,
I
thoughts?
currently have my wisdom at 8 and my charisma at 10, and I'm only debating flipping it because I want my character to be charismatic, but I'm debating flipping it just because the will save is only based on wisdom, not charisma, so I currently have a negative will save.
I think my druid's going to be shy, and that's why it has low charisma.
Sure. I want my charisma to be, like, positive, but I needed my stats in other places, so I don't have positive wisdom, charisma. My wisdom is low, which is going to be really funny for a rogue who's supposed to be, like, the spot check guy. He's like, well, I didn't see it. Sorry. I was thinking about a thing, and you got stabbed in the back because of it. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, I didn't see that guy. They were shouting. I didn't notice. Okay, so now that you have those laid out and you know you're human, and we're first level and nothing else is going into it, you can write those stats down onto the sheet and get the bonuses out of them. The 16 is going to be a +3, the 14 is a +2, the 12s are all +1s, and the 8 is a -1.
Okay.
Yeah, I took exactly 1 rank in Use Magic Device just so that I could actually roll it, but I'm going to definitely blow up every magic device I find. I like that Joseph said he was here, but he has muted himself and is talking in text instead.
Dang it, Joseph! Okay.
You're the DM. You have infinite ranks in it.
+1. Alright, I got all my stuff. Except, why did... Okay, that's just off.
Alright. And so now you can skip on down to the saving throws, and under ability modifier, you can put in those ability modifiers, which is the third box from the left. They are Constitution, Dexterity, and Wisdom. Those are the ones you use. So Constitution was a +2.
Wait, okay, hold on.
And then 1 and 1.
I'm lost.
What?
Where am I looking at?
Right below... Hang on. It might look different.
Saving throws? Is that
Yeah,
what I'm looking at?
saving throws.
Okay, so Fortitude, Reflex, and Will.
Right, and that should be for you 2-1-1 under Ability Modifier.
Mine is 2-1-3.
You're right. Sorry, I forgot that your wisdom was really high.
Yeah.
2-1-3. See, that's awesome. Mine's 1-4, -1.
Hey, that dexterity.
That dexterity, man. I'll be running away from fireballs like a fiend. Oh, sorry about that. For some reason, I read dude as Dunlap, but I think it's because they both, I think they both start with a DU. Where is Joseph?
I'm here.
Oh, hi, Joseph. Okay, I think I see what happened. I saw him at you in the chat, and then my brain just started filling in Dunlap wherever I saw dude after that.
Dude lap.
Dude lap. How's things going? How's the tacos? Where's mine?
I just put them together and sent a picture to our D&D group chat.
Oh my gosh,
dude.
I had tacos tonight as well.
You had tacos?
It's Taco Thursday.
No, it's supposed to be Taco Tuesday. That's also, it's Wednesday. God damn it.
Oh, in my head, I thought it was Thursday.
Look, this is my vacation week. I don't want it to already be Thursday. The fact that it's already Wednesday, it's like, how is my vacation almost over?
Ooh, I'm off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday next week.
I am also off those 3. No, wait, I'm not off Tuesday. Just Monday. I'm off Monday next week.
Nice.
Okay, so now we will skip to the Druid page, which is page 33. because this is going to tell you all the stuff that you get to start filling in for the class. So first thing to know is actually one of the last thing it says out of the flavor text, which is where it says hit die. Your hit die is a D8.
Where do I put that?
I write my hit die at the top because it becomes important, especially at later levels, to remember what your hit die is. And then your HP is going to be the hit die plus your con mod, it should be. So you should have 8 plus your con mod, so you should have 10 HP at first level.
Hit die. 8 plus 2.
Right. My con mod was only allowed to be a +1 because the race I chose has negative constitution, so I have 7 HP. Which means that a 10-foot fall could kill me.
10 HP. Okay. Got it.
Don't you be correcting my math over there, Derek. I know how to numbers. Which is unfortunate because I wanted to be all leaping from the roofs and things, but I think that might be quite fatal.
Yeah, but you have good dexterity.
My dexterity is good. I can use. I have max rank tumble, so I can use tumble to try and absorb the fall. Maybe I can reduce it enough that I don't die from a single 10-foot fall. Alright, so, you know your hit die. The next thing are your saves. And for a druid, you have +2 to fortitude. So you put this under base save. Base save, you get a +2 to fortitude, a +0 to reflex, and a +2 to will.
Haha!
Be glad you're considered one of the, like, defender classes or leader classes, because they get 2. I only get 1. I was a 0-2-0. You're a 2-0-2.
Double Tristan.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm not too bad in fortitude and will.
Nope, not bad at all.
And that's just with the base save and ability modifier.
Now for the really fun thing to tell you. Your base attack bonus, which goes directly below your saving throws, is 0. And let me tell you, that's a kick in the teeth for me, because rogues also have a +0 at level 1, and you are required to have a +1 base attack bonus for some of the feats I wanted to take. You are also a medium attacker, just like a rogue, so your base attack bonus is going to go up the same way mine does, which is off for 1, on for 3, meaning that at first level you don't gain a base attack bonus, but at levels 2, 3, and 4 you gain 1 every level. Then at level 5 you once again don't gain 1. So off for 1, on for 3, repeat.
Okay.
Now, once you have a base attack bonus of 6 minimum, you actually get a second attack if you take a full attack action. That's really not going to be important till later for you. That's not till 8th level, but it's just a cool thing to know about the system. It's honestly where the fighter and paladin extra attacks come from, because they were classes that got base attack bonus faster and so eventually earned more attacks.
Okay, so is there something I should put in for the... Oh, never mind, that's grapple. Okay.
To talk to Derek, I would take weapon finesse at first level if I had a base attack bonus so that I could attack with dexterity.
So you have to wait until level 2 for that?
No, I have to wait till level 3 because that's when I get my next feat selection.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's another... 3.5 is all about tables, and you gotta be able to find the right table. So on page 22, there is a table called Experience and Level Dependent Bonuses and Benefits. And that shows you that you get your first feat at first level, your second feat at third level, and your third feat at sixth level. It's basically every third level. It's first and third, then it's 6, 9, 12, 15. So yeah, it's every 3 levels except for first, where you do get one. Because you're human, you get 2 feats. Now, back to what you're doing. You got your saves. Alright. So the next thing to mark down, I would think, would be to go to the second page, which you should have the ability, you should have boxes under something called special abilities.
I have a box under special ability.
It probably lets you enter multiple lines.
Yeah, it's just a really long box.
Yeah, so just, hit enter and enter multiple things. So you're going to want to enter in Animal Companion.
Aminal Companion.
Yep. Then Nature Sense.
Nature Sense, got
and
it.
Then Wild Empathy.
Oh, I am very empathetic.
It's true. And what this means is a druid for Animal Companion. A druid may begin play with an animal companion selected from the following list. You could take a badger, a camel, a dire rat, a dog, a riding dog, an eagle, a hawk, a horse, light or heavy, an owl, a pony, a snake, medium or a small or medium viper, a wolf. And I think I already know which one you're going to take. If the DM...
What... did you guess wolf?
I did guess wolf.
Yes.
Get a cat and name it Brew Creole.
Cat is not on the list. I'm sorry, can't do it.
No, it's okay. Wolf is like the dog version of
Tiger.
Yeah.
Got it. If the DM's campaign takes place wholly or partly in an aquatic environment, the DM may add the following creatures to the druid's list of options: a porpoise, a medium shark, or a squid. This animal is a loyal companion that accompanies the druid on her adventures as appropriate for its kind. At first level, a first-level druid's companion is completely typical for its kind, except for as noted on the sidebar on page 36, which says, first and second level, they get plus nothing, plus nothing, plus nothing. They get 1 bonus trick, and they have the link and share spells feature. As druid level advance in level, the animal's power increases as shown on the table. If a druid releases her companion from service, she may gain a new one by performing a ceremony requiring 24 uninterrupted hours of prayer. This ceremony can also replace an animal companion that has perished. A druid of 4th level or higher may select from alternative lists of animals. Should she select an animal companion from one of these alternative lists, the creature gains abilities as if the value indicated in the appropriate list header, the character's druid level, and compare the rest with the druid level entry on the table. None of that matters right now. I just want to know.
I just have to wait until level 16, and I can actually get Kubriel.
It's true. Dire Tiger. That's she's not even dire. This is even bigger than Kubriel.
Wait, hold on a second. I could get a Tyrannosaurus.
I mean, if they, yeah, you could.
Okay.
Get the
So
Triceratops.
that's fun to look at. Okay.
Okay, no, here's Tiger. You only have to wait till 7th level.
Oh, 7th level. Wait. Oh,
Tiger.
I missed it because it was at the very end. Okay.
Yeah. You could get a Tiger at 7th level. Alright, enough of that. 3rd level, taking you to yada yada, bunch of number stuff. So, Nature Sense. A druid gains a +2 bonus on knowledge, nature, and survival checks. So, back on the first... Oh, you don't have a pencil page.
I don't have a pencil page.
Well, you know what? That's fine. I like noting where my bonuses come from, but you don't actually need to. If you look at the right-hand side, you should see a big list of skills.
I see spells.
No.
Oh, wait, no, hold on. I see skills on the first page.
First page, yes. Okay, so on this big list of skills, you'll see a couple that have like a fillable bar after them, namely craft, knowledge, perform, and profession.
Yes.
So if you go down to knowledge, the first one, go to the fillable bar and type in nature.
Okay.
And then there should be a row of fillable boxes after that. The last fillable box, all the way on the right, should say miscellaneous modifier. Throw a 2 in there for knowledge nature.
Boom. Knowledge drop.
And it's true, you did just do that. And then throw a 2 also in survival, which is down below near search and spot and shit.
Oh my gosh. I know so much survival because that makes it up to...
And then finally, wild empathy. A druid can use body language, vocalizations, and demeanor to improve the attitude of an animal, such as a bear or a monitor lizard. This ability functions just like a diplomacy check made to improve the attitude of a person. Druid rolls 1d20 and adds the druid level and her charisma modifier. Aw, your charisma modifier is negative. You're going to be bad at making animals not eat you.
Well, that's just typical of my characters.
The thing comes up and you're like, please don't. And the thing, like, sniffs at you, kind of confused. You go, idiot, and then it just bites you.
I like how as a druid I call animals idiots.
I mean, probably.
I'm supposed to be helping them.
All I know is this says you add your charisma and you chose a negative charisma.
Yeah, there's gotta be some bad parts.
A typical domestic animal has a starting attitude of indifferent, while wild animals are usually unfriendly. To use wild empathy, the druid and the animal must be able to study each other, which means they must be within 30 feet of one another under normal conditions. Generally, influencing an animal in this way takes 1 minute, but as with influencing people, it might take more or less time. A druid can also use the ability to influence a magical beast with an intelligence score of 1 or 2, but you take a -4 penalty on the check.
Oh, good. So -5 essentially.
I mean, you're currently at a 0 because you have +1 for your druid level and then -1 for your charisma. So it would just be -4.
Oh yeah.
And
okay.
that's all you get for... That's the explanation of your special abilities. The other thing to note here is the spells you get. And you get, as I said, 3 level 0 spells and 1 level 1 spell, which we can select once we've gone through a couple other things. So, first, I think you should note down languages.
Let's see. Okay, languages. Okay.
Right.
Common.
Right. You have common as a human, and then you have an intelligence bonus of +1. So, as a druid, the list of languages you can choose from bonus languages. The druid's bonus language options include Sylvan, the language of woodland creatures. This choice is in addition to the bonus languages available to the character because of the race. So you can choose to speak Sylvan. Humans, I think, have bonus language any. Let me see here.
I also get Druidic.
Automatically?
A druid also knows Druidic, a secret language known
Nice.
only to druids, which he learns upon becoming a first-level druid.
There you go. So yes, list common, druidic, and you could take Sylvan. As a human, automatic language is common, bonus language any. Other than the secret languages such as druidic, but then you're a druid, so you do get that. So,
Fuck it, rules. I beat you.
you could speak the language of the trees, Sylvan, or you could choose something like Elven, Draconic, Orcish, Gnomish, Dwarven.
I'll go with, what is... I'll go with Sylvan. I want to talk to nature.
Celestial doesn't exist in this edition. I know that Supernal is what became Celestial, but I think Supernal was only in 4th edition. I don't know what the language of the gods is in this edition. I don't remember. You're gonna go with what? I'm sorry, I was thinking.
I'm going with Sylvan.
Okay, cool. Fun fact, my character speaks Sylvan, so we're gonna have a speak language to talk to each other, and that isn't Druidic, because I can't speak that.
And I can't teach you. It's not allowed. It's forbidden.
It is. Alright, so that's languages. Good. Let's see. A druid can channel stored spell energy into summoning spells. Oh, neat. So, you get access to spells like, Summon Nature's Ally, multiple levels of Summon Nature's Ally as one of the things. So, the nice thing is that druids can spontaneously cast summoning spells. So you can... That means that when you prepare your spells, you can just choose no summoning spells. You can just prepare all these other spells that are useful in other situations. And if you find yourself in a situation where you're like, shoot, I need a summoning spell, you can just trade out one of your prepared spells for a summoning spell instead.
That's nice.
It's neat. Let's see. Druids. A druid casts divine spells, the same types as a cleric, which are drawn from the druid list on page 189. Her alignment may restrict her from casting certain spells opposed to her moral or ethical beliefs. See chaotic, evil, good, and lawful spells below. A druid must choose and prepare her spells in advance. To prepare or cast a spell, the druid must have a wisdom score equal to at least 10 plus the spell's level. Wisdom 10 for 0 level spells. Wisdom 11 for first level spells, and so forth. The difficulty class for a saving throw against a druid's spell is 10 plus the spell level plus the druid's wisdom modifier, which is great for you. That is actually listed out at the bottom right corner of the second page. I don't know if that one autofills or not. If not, you just have to put in the numbers in there.
Bottom right of second page. I have spell save DC. I mean, it just has 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Okay,
17.
so nothing else is populated in there?
No.
Okay. So we'll just have to write it down. So, does it have a box for spells known?
Yes.
Okay, so for 0, put 3. For 1, put 1.
Alright.
For spell save DC, for 0, you're going to put in 13. And for
okay.
1, you're going to put 14.
Okay. Is not letting me change the spell save DC.
Are they already 13 and 14?
Wait, are you talking about 3rd and 4th?
No, for 0
No.
and 1.
My spell save DC is just stuck at 10 and 11.
Well, that's frustrating.
I mean, is it maybe if I change the spell save DC mod right up above it?
Yeah, put in a 3 up there.
Yep, that changed it.
Okay, cool. I didn't have to fill that in. Because I don't have spells.
Dirty rogue.
I'm gonna get dirtier if I'm able to survive long enough, I'll tell you that much. Alright, so that's pretty much most of that. I'm trying to work through the quick stuff back to the not quick stuff. Probably do this for another 12 minutes. So, very quickly, let's mark down what skills are class skills, because luckily for a druid, unlike a rogue, it's not all of them. For me, it was pretty much all of them. I had to put little tiny X's in like 80% of the skill list. Okay, so for you, what you're going to do is I'm going to read them and you just put a little X in the box next to it, okay?
Okay.
The little tiny box on the left.
Yep.
Okay. For Druid, you get Concentration, Craft.
Does it matter which one I do it in?
I always
Is it
just do
all
the
three?
first one. Yeah, you can do all 3. I always just do the first one until I actually start taking a craft, because that's when you fill in the little blank after it to say what you're crafting.
Okay.
Diplomacy. Handle Animal. Heal.
Better have that. Okay.
Heal. Knowledge nature. Listen. Profession. Ride. Spellcraft. Spot. Survival. Swim. That's it.
Okay.
You're going to want to mark somewhere where you can use a pencil, unfortunately, because this is the only way I know how to keep track of these things, because let me tell you, you get a lot of skill points.
Okay.
At first level, you have 4 plus your intelligence modifier times 4 skill points.
So 4 plus 1 times 4.
Right, which is 20.
Ooh.
You may distribute these points to any skills you want. If you place a point in a class skill, one of the things with an X, 1 point equals 1 rank. If you put them in a cross-class skill, or any skill that doesn't have the X, it's 2 points per rank. You are allowed to put a number of points into each skill equal to your level plus 3. So you can put up to 4 points in any skill. For class skills, that means it will be rank 4. For cross-class skills, it will be rank 2.
Okay.
But we can hold off on populating those. Just have marked down
Let's
somewhere.
do that.
Yeah.
I've marked down that I have 20.
You have 20, and mark down that the highest you can put into any class skill is 4. And that cross-class skill is also 4, but they count for half as much. So you can put 4 points into a cross-class skill, but it will only result in 2 ranks.
Okay.
And half ranks don't count.
Alright. Next.
So, really, the last couple of things to do are to roll your starting money and to purchase your equipment, and finally to determine who you are and what your backstory is and what other characters you will know before the game starts, because it is always helpful to know another character before the game starts. So you are a druid. You are going to roll 2d4.
Get my dices out.
Mm-hmm.
2d4. There's 1, there's 2. 2 3s.
Okay, so you have 60 starting gold.
Okay, and is that something I just have to write down?
There should be a place on the sheet where it should say money, copper, silver, gold, platinum. And then you are going
okay.
Yeah, and then you're going to want to spend that on equipment, namely armor, at least 1 weapon, and things that you would carry with you that are useful, like rope, water skin, things like that.
Okay, that was 60 gold.
60 gold. Armor is expensive. So, for example, if you want hide armor, is not expensive at all. It's 15 gold. So you can totally afford that. My armor cost 100 gold, so I thought everything was going to be expensive.
Okay, let's see. So I would put that under gear and the armor / protective item.
Right. Armor / protective item you can put down. Hide is the name. The type is medium. The AC bonus is +3. The max dex is +4. The check penalty is -3. These other things don't matter as much, but the spell failure is 20%. The speed is 20 feet. So it does reduce your speed to wear this. I didn't know that.
That's odd.
All medium and heavy armors reduce your speed. That's just how it was. They wanted to make sure that if you wanted to be tanky, you were going to be as slow as the dwarf, so you couldn't leave him behind.
Well, at least as a druid, I don't have major necessity to try to close gaps.
Yeah. You'll have a spell that you can cast, and you'll have your animal companion that you can order to attack for you. And then the last thing is the weight, which is 25.
Okay. And that was 15 gold.
Yep, that's 15 gold. I mean, your other option is leather, which is +2 as opposed to +3 for AC, so you'd be losing an AC point, but you would keep your speed. And there's no armor check penalty. So that's something to think about. Is if you want to keep your speed and also not have an armor check penalty, which is skill checks, then you might want to think about leather because it's only a reduction of 1 AC.
Yeah, I wouldn't. -3 is.
-3 is significant, especially on things like swim, where it's a -6.
Yeah, I'll go with leather.
Okay, so if you want to switch it to leather, it's only 10 gold instead of 15 gold. So you can get 5 gold back. It's +2. The max dex is +6. The armor check is 0. The spell failure is 10. Speed is 30. And weight is 15. And I've just realized...
Is it... What type is it? Is it still
light.
medium or is
It's
it
light? Sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
You're good.
Combat, equipment. Description feats. Okay, I did forget one thing, and we have 4 minutes, so we're good. You are a human, so you get to choose 2 feats.
Let's see, where are our feats?
Page 90 is the big table of feats, which I tend to like looking at because you can quickly look down it and see feats, their prerequisites, and their feat interdependencies. So you can quickly see feat trees, like dodge into mobility into spring attack, which is something I always get. Pretty much regardless of who I'm playing. What was your dex again?
My dex is 12, so +1.
Okay, so you can't take dodge, or you can take... No, you can't take that one anyway, because dodge has a minimum dex requirement of 13. That's fine. It's not as necessary for you anyway, because you're more of a primary spell caster, so being able to move, attack, move is not as necessary for you as it is nice for me. Combat casting gives you a +4 on concentration checks for defensive casting. What does that mean? That means... Combat casting. You are adept at casting spells in combat. You get a +4 bonus on concentration checks made to cast a spell or use a spell-like ability while on the defensive. See casting on the defensive on page 140, or while you are grappling or pinned. Okay, so that's the part I was hoping it would explain, because I don't know what casting on the defensive means. 140. Casting time. Casting on the defensive. You may attempt to cast a spell while paying attention to threats and avoiding blows. In this case, you are no more vulnerable to attack than you would be if you were just standing there, so casting a spell while on the defensive does not provoke an attack of opportunity. It does, however, require a concentration check of DC 15 plus the spell's level to pull off. Failure means you lose a spell. So that's not a bad idea. Like, if somebody gets right up next to you, normally if you just try to cast a spell, they get to opportunity to attack you. But if you cast on the defensive instead, you have to immediately make a con check to see if you can pull it off, and the DC is going to be 15, so for a first level spell, a DC 16. And this gives you a +4 on that concentration check. Now, you are concentration is a class skill, so you can dump ranks in there, and you can see what your roll is going to be. It's con based, so you already know you get a +2 on that. And if you dump 4 ranks in there to max it out, you're going to be at a +6. So that means in order to protect your first level spell, you need to roll a minimum of 7 on the die. But if you have combat casting, you only have to roll a 4. For example, on how this would be used. That's a good one if you're a primary caster and worried about casting while somebody runs up to you and wants to attack you.
I was figuring on that would be my main stuff.
Alright then. So, combat casting is a good one. It has no prerequisites, you can just take it. Augment summoning, spell focus, conjuration. I need to look at that one. Meta magic, no. Animal affinity. You have a +2 bonus and I'll handle animal checks and ride checks now. Augment summoning. Prerequisite, spell focus, conjuration. I don't think you have that, so maybe this doesn't matter. Each creature you conjure with any summon spell gains a +4 enhancement bonus to strength and constitution for the duration of the spell that summoned it. That's really cool, but I also don't know if you actually make the requisite, because it sounds like spell focus conjuration is going to be a wizard thing.
Where is that?
I was reading the description of augment summoning on page 89. I'm mostly just like skipping down through these, and if it's got a name that sounds like it would be helpful to a druid, I'm checking it out. Improved initiative is always helpful. You get a +4 on initiative checks. Improved turning. Strength. Skater, iron will, leadership, lightning reflexes. Reflex saves. Mounted combat. Natural spell. Ooh. Okay, so this one is for druids. Wisdom 13, ability to use wild shape. Cast spells while in wild shape. You don't have wild shape yet, so you actually can't take that feat, but that's one that you should keep in mind.
Or like when I level up to a point I get another feat.
Right. Oh, spell focus is a feat. Spell focus, there it is. +1 on save DCs against a specific school of magic with no prereq. So you could take spell focus at like level 3 if you wanted, or now if you wanted, and then get augment summoning later, which would make the animals you summon with like summon nature's ally stronger by improving their strength and constitution scores.
What about spell penetration?
Sounds gross.
+2 bonus on caster level checks to defeat spell resistance.
Right. Let's see. It's been a while since I played this edition, so I just want to read it to see if I've remembered what things are correctly. Spell penetration, you get a +2 bonus on caster level checks. 1d20 plus caster level made to overcome a creature's spell resistance. Okay, so yeah, it seems just anytime a creature appears that has spell resistance as part of its stat block, when you cast a spell, in addition to its DC, the spell's DC, like the creature won't even have to roll against the DC, if you failed the caster level check to beat its spell resistance. So this means that if something rolls in and says, I have an arcane, a spell resistance of like 14, that means you have to roll a d20 plus your caster level, which is 1, and beat a 14 to even cast spells at it, for your spells to have any effect. This would give you a +2 on that. So it's not bad. I don't know how often it'll come up. It's definitely helpful. Like, when it comes up, you'll be glad you have it. I just don't know how often it'll come up.
Yeah, true.
Choose a good. So be aware that choose a good number in third and fourth edition. Like those are standard bonuses as +2s and -2s, and those affect things. There is no
those were replaced eventually with advantage.
Right, which is far more powerful because advantage it comes out to a + and -5 on average. But in 4th edition, the + and -2s were called combat advantage and disadvantage. If you had advantage or disadvantage, it wasn't rolling 2 dice, it was just adding or subtracting 2 from your roll.
I mean, what about just endurance?
Endurance is a good one, especially because it gives you access to Die Hard, which is honestly one of my favorites. Because there's definitely nothing better than hitting 0 HP and deciding, okay, I'm done with this fight, and walking away with 0 HP rather than dying. Die Hard, which is a feat that it gives you access to, allows you to remain conscious down to -9 HP. Endurance is +4 bonus on checks or saves to resist non-lethal damage. You gain a +4 bonus on the following checks and saves: swim checks made to resist non-lethal damage. See page 84. Constitution checks made to continue running. Constitution checks to avoid non-lethal damage from a forced march. Constitution checks to hold your breath. Constitution checks made to avoid non-lethal damage from starvation or thirst. Fortitude saves made to avoid non-lethal damage from hot or cold environments. And fortitude saves made to resist damage from suffocation. Also, you may try to sleep in light or medium armor without becoming fatigued. You may sleep in light or medium armor without becoming fatigued. Normally you have to take your armor off regardless of if it's light or medium or heavy, or else you do not gain a rest bonus. Excuse me.
Those last things mixed with Joseph questionnaire before the thing makes me like, oh, this actually might be pretty decent to take just because of that.
Yeah, endurance isn't bad. A character without this feat who sleeps in medium or heavy armor is automatically fatigued the next day. A ranger automatically gains endurance as a bonus feat at 3rd level, which you're not a ranger, so you...
Nope.
Endurance is a good one. My big reason for liking it, though, is access to Die Hard, because it's the prerequisite feat.
I think I'm going to go with endurance.
Okay.
What'd I miss?
Everything. All he has to do now is select his 0 and 1st level spells, buy his equipment, and then come up with a backstory. And
Sweet.
that is how you make a 3/5 character with Tristan.
So he's a human druid.
He is
And
a human.
put my stuff in my skills.
Right. Distribute your skill points.
Yeah.
Alex, let's talk about backstory.
Okay.
The easiest way to become a druid is to have learned from a member of the Conclave in the Great Forest. But it's not the only way. You can also just have a mentor somewhere.
You can also fall in a hole and commune with the water until it brings you back out of the hole.
And then he gets a shark pet that he can't take with him.
Unless you make a lot of the campaign revolve around water.
Well, it's like I said in the chat to Derek, I'm not disallowing the use of aquatic animals, I'm also not doing an aquatic campaign.
You should just have a fish bowl with you everywhere you go that contains your aquatic pet.
It's a very big fishbowl.
Like Pirates 3 with Davy Jones. He's on the land in the bucket.
I've got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it?
No, I'll keep my wolf. It's okay. Alright.
But I mean, really, what is a wolf before a shark?
So, Alex,
Well,
it's
we're
up to
mostly on
you.
land.
Did you learn from the conclave or a mentor?
I think I'm going to be part of a conclave.
Sweet. Okay. Druid Conclave is in the Great Forest. When you look at the picture of Valenaria, it's the big old forest near the middle to the right of the giant mountain range.
All right. Is that on?
Yeah, we need to get that link
where is that?
pinned. We need to find that.
Easiest place would be the Twitters, but I also posted it in our private chat at some point weeks ago.
Fix that.
But I can post it to the group chat real quick. Just got to download it on my phone.
Testing, testing. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I yanked my microphone cable just now and it made a bad noise. Wanted to make sure I didn't break it. Yeah, so we should definitely post that link in the Valenaria chat and get it pinned. But we are now at an hour and 10 minutes on the episode 198 of the Player 4 podcast, so I think that having finished the stuff that we can communally do to help Alex get his character laid out, and all that remains is like little fiddly things that he needs to think about what he wants to do. I think that's a pretty good stopping point.
Yeah.
What's it time for now, Tristan?
I think it's time to get the flip out of here.
Oh no, I'm gonna do a flip.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah, Spider-Man, do a flip.
You're not a... Hashtag goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. I was last.